Hello and welcome back to Building the Bible. My name is Liam, and today we are going to be continuing our exploration of the Old Testament of the Bible while using some Lego building blocks to recreate some scenes. Today we are going to be picking up the story with Joseph, who is one of the descendants of Abraham and Sarah, who we learned about in episode number 3. If you'd like to jump ahead to where I start to give some of the tips and tricks about this build, you can do so at this time. And if you'd prefer to just skip ahead to the time lapse and see what was built, you can skip ahead to this time. So with that, let's get into our Spark Story Bible reading for today, Joseph and his brothers. Jacob lived with his family in a place called Canaan. He had many sons. One of Jacob's younger sons was named Joseph. Jacob spent much more time with Joseph than with any of his other sons. He even had a special coat made for Joseph. It seemed to the brothers that their father loved Joseph more than he loved them. They felt sad and angry. One night, Joseph had a dream. The next morning, he couldn't wait to tell everyone about it. I dreamed that we were all in a field tying stems of grain together. Suddenly, I couldn't believe my eyes. Your grain made a circle around me and then bent over. You were bowing down to me. Isn't that exciting? Exclaimed Joseph. Our grain did what? They laughed. Why do you think we would bow down to you like you were some kind of king? The brothers asked angrily. Joseph hung his head and walked away slowly and sadly. The next night, Joseph had another dream. He excitedly told everyone about it in the morning. I had an even better dream last night. I looked up into the sky, and there I was. I saw the sun, the moon, and the stars bow down to me. Isn't that amazing? He said. This time, his father was listening. Jacob was angry with Joseph and said, Why do you think your mother and I would stand next to your brothers and bow down to you as if you were a king? I don't like the strange dreams you are having. They will never come true. Now his brothers and his father were really mad at him. Luckily for Joseph, Jacob decided to send his brothers off with the sheep for a while. Later, Jacob sent Joseph to find out how Joseph's brothers were doing with the sheep. As he was getting near them, his brothers saw him coming. Here comes our dreaming brother. Let's get rid of him, they planned. They grabbed Joseph and threw him into a pit. Ouch! The rocks at the bottom of the pit were hard and sharp. God, why are they doing this to me? Prayed Joseph. A group of traders walked by on their way to Egypt. The brothers thought they'd get rid of Joseph once and for all. They sold Joseph to the traders and watched as he was taken away. So, now that we've heard the story, I think what I'm going to do is build the pit that Joseph was thrown into by his brothers. Now, Joseph is famous for having his Technicolor Dreamcoat, which was given to him by his father, Jacob. Now, you may have heard of this coat before. There's a famous play called Joseph and the Technicolor Dreamcoat, and it was mentioned in the story, and it's something that's deeply associated with Joseph. Now, I didn't have any minifigure pieces that I could use to simulate having a Technicolor Dreamcoat, so what I decided instead was to make one. What I did is I got a piece of cardstock and I cut it so that it would fit in around the body of a minifigure, and then I folded it and colored it in so that you got this nice Technicolor coat that Joseph can wear while he's stuck at the bottom of the pit that I'm going to build. So what I'm going to do is grab a base plate, and I'll probably along the very bottom of the base plate build the bottom of the pit, and then I'll build the hole kind of around that, and up at the top I'll have Joseph's scheming brothers looking down at where they have put their brother. So with all of that, let's get into the time lapse. you can see, I have finished my build. This week, things may look a little different, at least from the side, especially if you're familiar with some of my previous projects. And that's because instead of being viewed from the side, this particular creation is intended to be viewed from the top. So if we take a look at a top-down view, we get a good view of Joseph in his predicament in the bottom of the pit. His brothers are surrounding the outer edge of the pit at the top, scheming, and in this scene, they're just kind of considering what to do just before the traders pass by on their way to Egypt. Here are a few more shots of this scene, and just keep in mind that there are a number of different ways you can recreate this scene yourself. If you'd like to share some of those creations with me and the rest of the team here at St. Mark's, you can do so by sending an email to lego@stmark.ca. That's all I have for this week, but I am excited to announce that future episodes of this series will be coming, covering both the Old Testament and later on, perhaps some New Testament stories as well. That's all. Thank you and goodbye.